Hey, you guys, on today's show, it's kind of chock full. Like, there's just so much going on, as per usual. I love the Trump era, but also sometimes I wish we could just slow down a little bit. But that is not how this man rolls, so we are rolling with him. Now, on today's show, Trump is dropping some more hints about the 2020 election being stolen, and I am so here for that because when this man says something, bank on it. So there's that. Then we're going to discuss how AOC's hysterical shrieking at the Mamdani rally just really shows their desperation. And Zohran Mamdani got caught in another lie about his dear aunt and her hijab after 9/11. Then we've got some California news. California is really upset. Really upset. Gavin Newsom is in his feelings about Trump sending the DOJ there to watch his elections. And also, there's some issues with illegals driving on California roads and killing people. And how basically, once again, the Democrats are just riding and dying for the illegals. And then we're going to talk about the Ballroom Gate, because, it's the next coming of the Third Reich, don't you know? And finally, I have my interview with Carmen Montiel, who is running for Texas CD18, which is the elections coming up in about a week. And there is a chance that this district, which has been a traditional Democrat district, could actually flip. So stick around for all that today on the Angela Box Show.
Hello, my name is Angela Box. Show your personality.
Okay, you guys, I'm going to try and keep this brief. I will try. I want to tell you, before we jump into the stuff, I like to talk about, things I'm watching and stuff like that. And also some first world problems in this show. Because I have many first world problems. The first world problem I had last week, you guys, my husband and I love to buy these Yasso ice cream bars. And if you don't know what it is, it's like Greek yogurt, but wrapped in chocolate, or different yogurt flavors, and they are really, really good. And we have an addiction to the Yasso bars. And the thing is, though, is if you leave your freezer open, even a little crack like I did a couple days ago, they all turn to basically sludge. So I had to throw away like 50 Yasso bars, and I was very sad about this. And then I was even more sad when I realized that the entire freezer, the bottom of the freezer, was just, it looked like a crime scene, okay? It looked like basically Jeffrey Dahmer's sludge buckets that he used to put his victims in. And sorry to be gross about that, but there is a reason I'm talking about Dahmer. Okay, so I had to clean everything, and the silver lining is now my kitchen is like organized to the hilt. The freezer's clean, the fridge is clean, the pantry looks great. So lemonade out of lemons. Now the reason I bring up Dahmer is because, well, I love murder porn. Like, that's my thing. That's a great true crime series. That's my love language. Okay, so Ryan Murphy, who is famous for American Horror Story and all that, and Monster, and Feud. And Ryan Murphy's done some great stuff, and then he's done some really bad stuff. And the latest iteration of Monster, the Ed Gein story, you guys, is so bad. It's so bad. Like, I am in shock at how bad it is. And I'm mad at myself that I watched basically everything except the last 20 minutes. The reason I watched it is because I love Charlie Hunnam, I love Laurie Metcalf, and in theory it should be good, but when you talk to people who actually know the Ed Gein story at all, they're like, this is complete bullshit. They're like, it's 90% made up, which Ryan Murphy has not done that in the past. Like, the Dahmer Monster is far and away the best one. Evan Peters is such a great actor. He is so, so good, and it's so well done. And then the Menendez one that came out earlier this year was also really good, except for the homoerotic undertones that, the brothers were like banging each other, or that Eric was gay. Like, it's like, Ryan Murphy, you wish, okay? Like, keep your gay fantasies to your Tinder matches or your Grindr matches. Like, when you're creating things that are based on true stories, like, try and stick to the source material, okay? But anyway, no go on the latest one with Ed Gein. It's real bad. Now, something else I just started watching that I think is really good. I just came across it because I don't watch a lot of Peacock, even though we have all the streaming services. The new one with Devil in Disguise. It's so good, you guys. It's the John Wayne Gacy thing. And my sister's not really obsessed with John Wayne Gacy. I've always been fascinated by that case. And the actor playing him, and I wish I knew his name off the top of my head, but when I tell you he's one of my favorite actors, like when I realized, oh, it's him. Like he basically transformed into John Wayne Gacy. It's very good. This is the actor that was also in Patriot, and he's in Severance, which the first season of Patriot is really good. Stop watching it after the first season. Trust me on this. It's real bad in the second season. But Patriot on Amazon Prime, and of course Severance, which Fred and I love Severance. He's in both those things. It's so good. 7.7 IMDb. I'm not steering you wrong on this. What sucks about the monster thing is that it gives you the impression that it's all the seasons are the same, because it's different cases per season. And it's got like a 7.8. So you're like, okay, this is solid. No. Do not watch the Ed Gein one. It's bad. Okay, now something else I'm watching, and you got to have the sugar with the sour. I just started the Married at First Sight season 19, the one that's set in Austin. Don't give me any spoilers. I'm actually not gonna go on Twitter to find anything out. I'm rooting for these people. Like, I really am. I got married this year, and it took a long time to find my husband, and I'm really rooting for these people that took this leap of faith. So have good vibes for all of you. Okay, now let's get into the show. You're like, finally. Okay, I was going to talk about the NBA stuff, but let me just briefly touch on this. Trump basically was like, you know how the FBI was doing all these things undercover and like doing this case for a very long time that no one knew about, and then all of a sudden, boom, they dropped the hammer. See, you guys, that's how the FBI works when they're not corrupt, okay? When they're not corrupt and they're not politicized, they actually follow the evidence where it goes, they build a case, and then they drop charges, which is what happened with this NBA thing, which, they're all cheating, basically. And I think we're going to come to find out that it wasn't just the NBA, it's probably all major sports things. But Trump would let it be known that he was like, hey, I'm over here. Remember that whole 2020 election thing? If you think that, if they can rig a bunch of professional sports games, you don't think they could have rigged an election and have tandem things going along? And, this person doesn't know what this person's doing, but they're all doing the steal. Yeah, you don't think that could have happened? Please, that's what happened. And when Trump says something, bank on it. And we finally reached the point in Narcos Mexico on season 3 where they're doing the steal. Like, they're doing all the things that we all saw in the 2020 election. That basically every person in Latin America who lived through this corruption was like, when they saw what was happening in 2020, let me move over a little bit, sorry. I'm trying to center myself. When the people in Latin America saw what was going on in 2020, they're like, yeah, we've seen this movie before. They're cheating. So Trump just let it be known, just dropped a little nugget, like, that's coming. Okay, so let's talk about this Mamdani thing. So Zohran Mamdani, the gift that keeps on giving. Every time I hear that guy's name now, I think of the Zoltan thing from Big. The thing that made Tom Hanks big. That's what I think of when I think of Zohran Mamdani. And it's basically the same kind of vibe. It's like, let me make everything perfect for you and beautiful and amazing, because communism just hasn't been done right, you guys. But Zohran Mamdani, the 30-year-old wonderkind who promised his classmates free, freshly squeezed juice from local produce when he was running for vice president, he was like, yeah, I didn't really think I was going to be able to get away with that, but they bought it. It's the same thing. I mean, this guy, and here, I said this last week, I really hope that Curtis Lewa does not drop out. And people are like begging for him to drop out because the gap is now about 10 points between Mamdani and Cuomo. And Slee pulling between 9 and 11%. So if he did drop out, Cuomo could snatch it away from this guy. But I hope he doesn't. Because New York clearly needs a little medicine. Okay? New York City is one of if not the most hotbed of crazy in the country. I shouldn't say the most. I mean, there's lots of hotbeds of crazy. And this is where the Democrats are now focusing their efforts because they can't win statewide in a lot of these states, and they can't win nationwide right now because they have no platform and they have no anything except hate Trump, and Trump is crazy, and all those things. They have nothing. All they can do is win local elections like the New York City mayor. Now, because it's such a large city and because it's such a major city, this will be an amazing platform, an amazing stage that can prove once and for all that communism and Marxism doesn't work, okay? This pie-in-the-sky crap that Zohran Mamdani is running around selling to these idiots will not work. It's going to collapse in a spectacular fashion. Now, AOC, though, hasn't gotten the memo. AOC is out there thinking she's going to be president, okay? This heifer is 100% running, okay? 100% this heifer is running for president, which I cannot wait for, okay? She was at his rally last weekend, and, for someone who's, super up in her feels and thinks that they've got this running away, why does AOC sound so panicked? Roll the first AOC clip where she's screaming about how everybody, the put-upon immigrants of New York. Roll that clip.
This city was built by the Irish escaping famine, Italians fleeing fascism, Jews escaping Holocaust, Black Americans fleeing slavery and Jim Crow, Latinos seeking a better life, Native people standing for themselves, Asian Americans coming together in Queens, in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, in Manhattan, in Staten Island, in this country, in a vision to build the freest, toughest, and greatest city on earth.
Okay, so, nothing gives confidence like a screaming AOC. And then the best AOC clip in the last few days. And she has so many. She really is the font of wisdom that keeps on giving. She said that, and this is so funny because she basically was like, you guys were not crazy. The people in the straitjackets in the insane asylums going, I'm not crazy. Why am I here? Listen, pro tip, sis. If you have to scream about how you're not the crazy ones, you're definitely the crazy ones. Roll that clip.
But we must remember, in a time such as this, we are not the crazy ones, New York City. We are not the outlandish ones, New York City. They want us to think we are crazy. We are sane.
Yes. This is going to be glorious, I tell you, and I hope Zohran Mamdani runs away with this. Because if you've got all the leftists salivating to basically being taken over by a commie, what could possibly go wrong? I cannot wait for this. And then I can't wait for the DOJ to arrest Andrew Cuomo for what he did during COVID. So there's a couple of reasons why I don't want Curtis Sliwa to drop out, because Cuomo needs to go to jail for what he did during COVID. Speaking of Mamdani, one more thing about Mamdani. He's out there, wearing his Islamic faith on his sleeve, as he has for these many years. And he's like, look, you guys, we're going to have a Muslim mayor in New York City. What could possibly go wrong? Remember that thing called 9/11? I'm sure you remember if you're old enough, if you were alive during then, and we all remember where we were when 9/11 happened. And Zohran Mamdani wants you to know that, all those Muslims that were celebrating 9/11 in the streets of New York City, which we all saw, that really wasn't the case, of course not. And in fact, his poor put-upon aunt couldn't even wear her little head beanie, her little hijab on the subway after 9/11 because they were just going to come out and get her. And it's like, come on, man. I remember very clearly after 9/11, we were told to bend over backwards to make sure not to blame Muslims. And nobody did, okay? No one was going, hey, all Muslims are cheering this on. Although, again, a whole lot of them did cheer it on. Let's keep it 100. But no one was out there saying that we should, round up all the Muslims. No one was doing that, okay? So Zohran Mamdani goes out the other day, and he has a tear coming down his cheek saying, my poor aunt. She couldn't even wear a hijab. Roll that clip.
I want to use this moment to speak to the Muslims of New York City. I want to speak to the memory of my aunt. Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
Well, now we come to find out that his aunt is a radical leftist feminazi type who supports trannies and abortion and all these haram things that would basically get you thrown off the first roof if you were in a Muslim country. And she didn't wear a hijab, and she doesn't wear a hijab, so he made it up. But what's new? We're talking about leftists here. So I cannot wait for this election. It's going to be glorious, and I hope Zohran get to the finish line. It's going to be great. Okay, next we're going to talk about California. Another gift that keeps on giving. Patrick Bateman, aka Gavin Newsom, let it be known the other day that he was like, listen, I don't know if you guys know, but I've really been thinking about running for president. Everyone's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, we know. You and Jabba the Hutt over there, J.D. Pritzker, are going to duke it out for the Democrat nominee, and then, God willing, put either Jasmine Crockett or AOC on the ticket. Please, God. Anyway, so, please continue to hold out California as a complete excrement show as to what we should not do. Now, there are a couple things going on right now with California. First of all, over the weekend, Democrats continue to ride and die for illegal aliens, and we know why. They need the congressional apportionment, and they need them voting. And these people that want to claim that illegals aren't voting, it's like, well, we just found like 2 million illegal aliens in Texas who were on the voter rolls. So if it can happen in Texas, I'm sure it's happening in other places. But that's a whole other issue. Over the weekend, there was another CDL holder, a commercial driver's license truck driver, an illegal alien, an Indian man, feather, who doesn't speak any English and basically failed his test 10 times. And Gavin Newsom's like, sure, give him a driver's license. What could possibly go wrong? Well, just like it happened in a state about 3 weeks ago, he killed 3 people. Okay, and so here's what I hope happens. Number one, Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary, he is going to be cutting off $160 million that would have gone to California to fix whatever the hell's going on with their roads and bridges and whatever. He's like, no money for you. So that's fun. And then what I hope happens is the people who got murdered by this illegal alien who should never have been in the country, not to mention have a commercial driver's license, I hope that they sue the company and the state of California and Patrick Bateman, aka Gavin Newsom, personally into oblivion because they are directly responsible for these people's deaths. I mean, it's one illegal alien after another. Speaking of, there was an illegal alien, a brutal piece of shit that raped I believe a 50-year-old woman, like brutally raped a woman. And Brandon Johnson, Chicago. And when someone asked Brandon Johnson about this, he was like, next question, roll that clip.
Well, the real Chicagoans that I talk to, that I communicate with, mostly black and brown, actually, tell me that you don't seem to know the difference between illegal aliens and real Chicago citizens. They feel that you are siding with the illegal aliens over them in their communities. And okay. Sadly,
William, let's get to the question.
Let's get to the question. The real question is simply this. I don't know how to make it any more direct. An illegal alien from Nicaragua grabbed a woman on the north side last week, bashed her head into the sidewalk, knocked her unconscious, and raped her. If that had been your wife, Stacey.
Okay, all right, we're not going to answer it. Thank you. Right. Thanks, William.
All right. Would you want ICE to deport her?
All right. Let's move on.
Yes or no?
Let's move on.
Answer the question as a man, not as mayor, but as a man. Would you want
thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, complete piece of shit. Complete piece of shit. But one more thing about California. Trump has said he's going to be sending the DOJ to watch the upcoming election, the redistricting election. Because California has basically redistricted the hell out of their seats, so much so that only Republicans who make up 40% of the electorate only have like 15% of the seats or 17%. And Gavin Newsom's like, that's far too many seats for Republicans. We're going to basically get it down to one. I mean, just, there's garbage humans. Anyway, Trump's like, we're sending the DOJ in there. And of course, Gavin's having a fit about this because he's like, how dare you accuse me by omission of somehow cheating? Why, we are as clean and pure as the wind-driven snow. And Trump's like, I don't care, we're sending him anyway. And on that note, there's a gubernatorial election coming up too, where fat Katie Porter, who is basically Sheila Jackson Lee's clone of how to treat staff, aka she's a piece of shit to her staff, she thinks she's gonna win this in a walk. And there's a latest poll that says, actually, the Republican Steve Hilton, he could win this thing. Wouldn't that be something? So that's another reason why Trump is sending the DOJ. So all eyes on California. Okay, and finally, the ballroom gate. This is so dumb. This is so stupid. Like, this whole ballroom story is, it just goes to show you once again, like, it's more Hitlerian nonsense. It's more foaming at the mouth, clutching all the pearls. Like, it's like, you guys, you basically hate us. Okay, we know that. And you basically allowed the White House to basically crumble right before our eyes for these many years. Okay, so obviously Trump is going to have to come in and do some beautifying, and he is a a guy that loves, he absolutely loves to fix things, and he loves to build things. And so now he's going to fix the ballroom situation, because evidently what they've been using is like a tent outside. And it's like, should the leader of the free world and the greatest country in the world not have a ballroom? Of course they should have a ballroom, but there's a couple takes that have been really just hyperbolic. So first of all, Amy Klobuchar came out the other day. Amy Klobuchar, who normally is like a relatively normal Democrat, she came out and said that, Trump is like literally taking a wrecking ball to our democracy. They had to throw in the democracy part. Roll that clip.
Markey, they've all raised these concerns about pay to play here. Do you share those concerns, and what do you see as the role of Congress in oversight?
Of course I do. There is a reason that we have Congress funds things, and you do not have private companies coming in to this extent and paying for whatever vanity project a president wants. In this case, he has literally taken a wrecking ball to our democracy, and then, of course, engaged in what many of us are concerned about here, which is pay for play.
And then, not to be outdone, Representative Ratchet is out there, Jasmine Crockett is out there, basically peddling a debunked ballroom hoax so bad that even CNN had to fact check her. So here's the story with that. So basically, Jasmine Crockett was on CNN the other day, and she accused Trump of neglecting Americans during the government shutdown, falsely claiming that the construction of the new East Wing ballroom was his main priority. Okay, now let me just say this. Jasmine Crockett was, this lady doesn't give a flying F, okay, that her constituency base, which is the 42 million people that are on food stamps, basically, who are now being told they're not going to get any food in November, and they're threatening to start robbing people from grocery store parking lots. That should be real cute. It's nothing. It really just goes to show how much the Democrats hate their voting base. They don't give a crap about these people. Like, they realize that a lot of black people are waking up and getting off the Democrat plantation, so they're like, well, we don't care about these people. Who we really care about is the illegal aliens we want to give healthcare to. And, they create a system where they create dependency, and they create people who are dependent on the federal government. And then they're like, yeah, we know that you're just going to need us no matter what. So you can do without food for like a month, right? Are you good with that? Like, they really hate you. But anyway, Jasmine Crockett was quickly corrected after she said that this was his main priority, even though we know that there are major multinational corporations that are helping to fund this ballroom, like Apple and Google and Amazon, among many other companies. She was corrected by Caitlin Collins, which is shocking, in an act of journalism, who clarified the original context of Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt's response. Roll that clip.
Do you believe this will be the week that Congress comes to an agreement here?
I have no idea. I mean, you started off talking about the fact that the president is in Japan. The president has time to do everything but what he needs to focus on. In fact, we heard the press secretary say that his main priority is the ballroom that no one asked for, the ballroom that requires him to destroy historic pieces of the White House. And so it doesn't seem like he's interested.
And that context of the comment from Caroline Leavitt, she was asked if the president was working on any other renovations when it came to the White House, and she was saying his focus was the ballroom. But to your point about what the president said.
Yeah, Representative Ratchet. I mean, listen, I know. You are the gift that keeps on giving. 100% you are. And I really hope that you continue to show that ass. And I continue to hope that if Jolanda Jones wins CD18, like, I really, really hope that you two have a ghetto off every day, because it is clear you two don't like each other. And for obvious reasons, you're both, ratchet narcissists as far as I'm concerned. And it is going to be really funny to watch you try and take each other down. But there's one more. There's one more clip that we have to show about Ballroom Gate, because the hysteria continues, ad infinitum. So there was a professor, a Princeton professor. He's a Princeton professor and you're not. His name is Eddie Glaude Jr. He was on MSNBC the other day. And he basically said on Nicole Wallace's show, which, side note on Nicole Wallace. No, Nicole, you are someone that does not need curtain bangs, okay? You need to grow your bangs out a little bit, okay? Help that face out a little bit, sis. Anyway, that's a side note. Eddie Glaude said that President Trump's White House ballroom construction project was, quote, his revenge on the people's house. Roll that clip.
What Jonathan Karl said last hour, he said that Donald Trump's revenge list is made up of folk who tried to cancel him. And by building this 90,000 square foot ballroom, you can't cancel that. He's going to imprint his revenge on the people's house. He's going to imprint himself on the bureaucratic infrastructure of the country. He's going to remake government in the image of himself. And interestingly enough, it will take generations for us to undo it.
Yes, guys, they are the gift that keeps on giving. They are the people who are always doing the most. And, it's kind of the whole adage, if everything is racist, nothing is racist. If everyone is Hitler, no one's Hitler. Like, enough already, you guys. Like, find something you can actually run on and win on, because you have literally nothing but hating Trump and defending illegal aliens by hook or by crook. Like, that's the Democrat Party right now. And, cozying up to commies like Zohran Mamdani. So, I mean, as someone who wants you all to lose spectacularly in the midterms, I truly hope that this is the route you continue to take. And I hope that the Democrats continue down this path with supporting everything that you're supporting right now, and basically making Gavin Newsom, J.D. Pritzker, AOC, and Jasmine Crockett the face of your party. I'm here for it. Okay, and finally, here's my interview with Carmen Montiel, who's running for Texas Congress, Congressional District 18. Enjoy. Hey, you guys, I'm really excited to bring you this candidate today, because we have a very interesting race going on in Houston right now. The late Sheila Jackson Lee died in office about a year or so ago. And then Sylvester Turner, our former mayor, took her spot. And then he passed away. And so right now there's a special election going on in a district that is normally very heavily Democrat. But right now, I believe the Republicans are outvoting Democrats 2-1. So there's a very interesting chance that a Republican could actually win this. And so I wanted to bring to you guys Carmen Montiel, who is the little candidate that could. She has run for this race several times. And right now, I imagine she's got some pretty high name recognition. So Carmen, how is everything going out there on the campaign trail?
Well, it's going great. and the energy is unbelievable. As you know, I am consistently second in the polls in a field of 16 candidates. But in reality, there is only 4 that we are at the top. So I am consistently second, and then the other 3 Democrats, Christian Menefee, Amanda Edwards, and Yolanda Jones. And what is funny is that depending on who makes the poll, which campaign has the poll done, Yolanda had the poll done, so of course she's first and second. And then the other 2 are pushed back to third and fourth. So Amanda Edwards, her campaign makes the poll, and of course Amanda Edwards is first and I'm second, and the other 2 are third and fourth. So the interesting thing is I'm never been moved to third and fourth. I'm consistently second. Same thing happened with Christian Menefee. So that should tells you a lot. And
yeah, it does. I know Yolanda, you know, I always joked around like it would be real wild to see her and Jasmine Crockett, you know, out ghetto each other. Those 2 would hate each other, and that kind of
God help us.
God help us. That would be funny to watch. But let's hope that this is the year that a Republican can actually break through. And the reason you may have an actual shot is because, you know, we're splitting that Democrat vote between those 3 top vote getters, or those 3 top candidates.
There is others. There is a guy that is also a Democrat that he was like dead last also, you know, at the bottoms with the one that have 1% and 2%, which is pretty much the rest of all the 16s. The only one that counts is this 3-4. But he raised a significant amount of money, and now people are talking about him. So it'll be actually 4 Democrats that are going to split that vote. Is Menefee, Edwards, Jones, and Martin. So that's all good for me, because I'm the one with the name recognition. I'm the one that has been campaigning for 7 months. You know, many people jump into this race at the last day on September 3rd. You don't have time to campaign. It's too late. You know, and I think that these 4 so-called Republicans that you've never seen in the party before until now, or some of them are not even showing up, just sign up on the deadline, which was September 3rd. So it's just sabotage, because they knew how solid I am, not only in the polls, but how solid my campaign is.
Well, so speaking of that, you don't live in the district, correct?
Well, I'm a block away from the district on the
You're
west
a block
side.
away. So yeah. when we think of that district, and it is going to be redistricted, but that's not going to take place until next year. Yeah. So it is a majority Black district. How are you reaching across and trying to reach those Black voters who maybe not only have never voted Republican before, but wouldn't really think of you as their people? Like, how are you trying to bridge that gap?
Well, right now, as it is, which is for these runs, is 45% Latino. And the second group of demographics is the Blacks with 31 and 17 white.
I thought it was a majority Black because we've had Sheila for so long. And
he used to be, but that's why when I run in 2022, that it became mostly Latino. She was so worried in 2022. And of course, she cheated again, because it's impossible with the changes of the Latino vote, and 20% of what it is now, that's the other issue, of the new area in the map used to belong to District 2, which is Dan Crenshaw, Republican. So it's impossible. She was able to win again with 70%, as always does. You know, but anyways, that's what we're fighting now. We're fighting the fraud. We're being able to contain the ballot by mail, because now it went back to Ken Paxton so he can prosecute this. And, you know, right now we are, targeting the Latinos, and also the Blacks are tired. The Black community are tired of being used by their so-called same people. And I own property in the east side of the district. So those are my tenants. And next year, this district, that's why, thanks God, federally, you don't have to live in the district, because they keep on changing the lines. You might live in the district now, might not next year, But next year, it goes back to be majority Black again, and goes all the way down to Fort Bend. And let me tell you, what happened is I have a great rapport with the Black community. And I'm working already to solve a major issue in the district, in the east side, which is the cancer cluster. And many people in the city in Houston live here, and they don't know about the contamination in the Fifth Ward in Kashmir Garden, the so-called cancer cluster, that have killed complete families because the contamination was created by Union Pacific with the creosote. And they know, all the politicians, even Sheila, they knew about it, they talked about it, never did anything.
That's interesting. I've never heard of that before.
See, many people that live in Houston don't know about this problem. Mm-hmm. And what Sheila did was she brought Aaron Brockovich, you remember Aaron Brockovich, the real one, to take for a picture opportunity right there in the contamination site, but nothing was done. So already working, to get my hands on and solve and clean, because Union Pacific's being ordered to clean, the contamination, and what happens is they're not doing. EPA is not getting involved and forcing to do it. And thanks God, like I said, I'm a great position for my district because I'm in the majority, Angela, and I can get things done for my district. And then we have a president that is a doer, and the contamination, a Fifth Ward is one of the things I'm going to bring to him and ask him to help me.
Well, that'll be very interesting, because if you can win, and obviously in the midterms, like you said, it's going to be redistricted it's going to be majority Black. So that certainly you have a very short window to kind of get some things done and to put some things on Trump's radar that would hopefully keep the district, if you win, in Republican hands. Real quick, the Christian Menifee thing, there was Aubrey Taylor, who is an equal opportunity shit stirrer, which I love about him.
Yes.
He had a blog post last week, and he talked about how Christian Menifee's campaign was essentially caught ballot harvesting, which is illegal in the state of Texas. What do you know about that?
Well, the ballot harvesters are there at every campaign, because not only they harvest ballots, but they work at every poll station, providing workers to be, electioneers. Electioneers are these people that are saying, hey, vote for Carmen. Like today, I'm with my uniform and handing push cards. So they offer the whole package. The whole package is the ballot harvesters, and I give you the electioneers, and you have all these people working.
Oh, let me stop you real quick. Am I mistaken? Is ballot harvesting not illegal in Texas? For some reason, I thought it was.
Ballot harvesting is illegal.
Oh, it is illegal. Okay.
These people that do the ballot harvesting, they offer a whole package. So ballot harvesting, and then, get the electioneers. Mm-hmm. So I have met many of them, and they have come and offer me, to work with, because they offer for everybody, and they probably get money for everybody, and they only advance one candidate. And the funny thing is, many Republicans have participated because they have given me the name of the Republicans. And the funny thing is, the Republicans don't win. So this time around, and I always say, no, thank you, that's illegal. I don't want to be part of anything illegal. The day I win, which I will win next week, is going to be because I earned it, and we did it, all Republicans.
I mean, you're it is impressive that you haven't given up. You've run in several cycles. And if you win next week, or if we go to a runoff, which I'm sure that there's going to be a runoff, that's when it's going to get interesting, and that's when the rubber's really going to meet the road. Who do you think? Like, what's your gut say of if you make the runoff? Who's going to be there with you? My gut, I don't know, man. I mean, I think Yolanda's got a
I would say mostly either Menifee or Yolanda. Mm-hmm. Amanda is too gray as a candidate. I don't know what she's running. She's great. She have nothing to say, nothing to offer. Lately, she started like the other candidate, because all the other Democratic candidates they don't say anything about the district. They don't have a plan for the district. The Democrats don't have platform right now. Their only platform is, we're going to go there to fight Trump. And they mention Trump so often that you would think they're running for president. Actually, it's ridiculous. So, and Amanda was not saying that until lately. So that's why I said I see probably more Menifee and Yolanda.
Mhm.
Definitely this other guy that's now make money is sending mailers, is going to take votes away from all of them and all the other Democrats. But, you saw what Yolanda said last week.
I was going to mention that's going to be a great campaign ad.
Well, let me tell you, we use it because one of the things she admitted when she went and attacked Republicans, which is
Let me stop you. Set that up. Set that CNN video up. In fact, let's roll that clip.
Okay.
No, it absolutely doesn't work. I'm from the hood, okay? So when a bully comes, like, if there are no rules, you literally have to figure it out. So Donald Trump has changed things, and people trying to do what's always been done is not going to work. And I think that's why Democrats are losing black people. That's why they're losing poor people, because poor people, all they want is for us to fight. So if you hit me in my face, I'm not going to punch you back in your face. I'm going to go across your neck, because we can go back and forth fighting each other's faces. You've got to hit hard enough where they won't come back. And so, for the same way I went to New York and spoke with Governor Kathy Hochul and said, if they're going to try to wipe us out in Texas, we need to wipe out every Republican in New York, in California, in Illinois.
Okay, so we saw what Yolanda said. Essentially, like, got to get rid of all the Republicans, putting her. I mean, it's like, okay.
Growth of all Republicans. Don't tell me that's not like a regime plan, okay? Yeah. But the other thing she admits is we're losing the vote of the Blacks and the Latinos. Mm-hmm. So you see they're desperate.
Yes.
They know they're set to lose this seat. And they know not only they lost already the Latinos, but even the Blacks. You know, the black men are voting Republican more and more every time. And they're realizing they're being used. They're tired of the empty promises that never happen. So that's why they're voting Republican. And that's why what she did, not only she was trying to get attention, of course, but it was an act of desperation, especially when she admitted we're losing the vote of the Blacks and the Latinos. And that's telling.
Well, that's what happens when you can't figure out what a woman is and go to bat for illegals and trannies. Like, I don't make the rules, but the rules exist. Okay, Carmen, how can people support you in this last week? Because this is exciting. And I'll be honest, I don't know when we're going to get this video out, but hopefully it's going to be in the next couple of days. And this is certainly a race to watch.
We need volunteers, so go to carmenforcongress.com, but for Congress with number 4, carmenforcongress.com. You can sign in for volunteers. Just donate whatever you can. It makes a difference. $5 will get us a sign and a push card. I have a lady that is the sweetest thing. She lives in the district, and she donates every week $1. It's amazing.
I love that.
So I'm going to call her to be in the watch party because, that she's part of this. And it means a lot that she is making that effort. And because she wants change. She lived in the district in the east side. So I appreciate that. And that's what you can do. We need volunteers, for all, like I said, electioneers at the polling place, making calls, doing all that we have to do and make the difference. I have another interview later today with Matt Getz. And, I'm getting there and we're going to make, this is going to be an earthquake.
Well, Carmen, it's very exciting to imagine that CD-18, which was, Sheila Jackson Lee's seat, could flip. I mean, that would be an earthquake, and it may be a temporary earthquake, but it would be an earthquake nonetheless.
No, listen, I get there. I don't have much time, but I do the right things. And why would people change it? When people see that I'm in the right track, which is something they never saw in the last 30 years, why will they change this? And that's what's important here for people to realize it. And that's why they're nervous. Because every time we go to a debate, I have a plan. They don't have a plan. They're just full of hate. They hate Trump. And they don't realize that when she said what she did, she's putting my life at risk. Because I'm the top Republican in this race. And ever since what she did, I'm not running anymore, Angela. I'm afraid to go wrong because it might spark somebody to say, well, she said that.
Yeah.
That might mean that I can go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
you know?
they don't care. They don't care. All right, Carmen, best of luck. We're all watching this, and we will see what happens next Tuesday.
Well,
Carmen,
go to vote. Tell everybody to go to vote.
Go vote, CarmenForCongress.com, and we will see you next time, everybody.
Remember, last name in the ballot also.
Last name in the ballot. All right, thanks, Carmen. You're listening to Angela Box Show. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, that is today's episode. Please let me know what you think down below. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. And I will see you in the next episode. Thy will be done. Bye.